So Richard, many times, having been to lots of seminars and lots of trainings, I think a lot of times, getting people to come to things is like the art of making it sound really easy and really simple, and then somewhere along the way there's the switch where, so here's where the PhD dissertation comes in. And you won't really mind it very much. It only takes 5 years, right?
Yeah.
And then you're feeling like, oh, I fell for it again. Yeah. Can you explain why your approach to business really is, well, how is it different from that?
Well, I'm trying to isolate the principles which are simple and clear and which describe why a small number of businesses are very successful and the large majority of businesses are pretty mediocre or unsuccessful. And in doing that, I'm trying to simplify my experience. And the truth is that I live this way. I mean, this is, I follow these principles. As an investor, I don't invest in something that's not a star business. And what that means is that I can take an investment proposal from somebody, a one-page proposal, because I can't be doing these huge decks that people produce. And it's either obvious to me that I should invest in this business, or it's obvious that I shouldn't. Or perhaps I restate that slightly. In the great majority of cases, it's clear that I shouldn't be investing. And then sometimes you get it right away, sometimes you need to ask a few questions, because they might not tell you how fast the market is growing and things like that. So you ask the questions and then you come to the answer. But if it's not obvious, I don't invest. So that's a very, very simple procedure. In terms of helping entrepreneurs, sometimes you do need to probe, and there's the issue of segmentation, which is, how is your business really different from another person's business? And it's a simple idea, but it's not a totally obvious idea. So, for example, if you decided that you would set up as a automobile manufacturer and you painted all your cars red, and you said, hey, I'm the only person in the world that only makes red cars, you could say that's a differentiation, but obviously it's not a defensible segment because there's no economics behind that, which make it cheaper for you to make red cars rather than all the other cars. Although to start with, actually, Henry Ford, decided to make everything black. He didn't do it at first. He did it actually in 1913, and that was because the only paint which would dry fast enough to keep up with his assembly line was Japan black paint. So in that case, it was true that black cars actually were a separate segment because it was all part of the mass manufacture rather than batch production of cars. So there are some sort of subtle things that you need to probe, and you need to ask the questions, but the answers to the questions are absolutely clear, and the principles are absolutely clear. And I am a great simplifier myself, and I make no apology for it. I don't think business success is complicated, and that sounds very presumptuous and thing to do. But I didn't invent these principles. I didn't invent the STAR principle. I didn't invent the 80-20 principle. All I do is realize that these things are so fabulously powerful that if you run your business and your life according to these principles, it somehow becomes a lot easier. And of course, the difficult things about life are not making money. I think making money is a relatively simple. Difficult things are personal relationships, and I haven't produced a way to simplify personal relationships. And I suspect you just can't do that. But some things are easy, and I happen to think business is one of those. Investment is one of those. Being an entrepreneur, it's difficult to run a company because you've got all the human dimensions, but it ain't difficult to set the strategy. That's my strong belief. So if you think that you're going to get the PhD thesis, you're going to be disappointed because I don't do PhD theses. I do things which are simple.